For anyone who's really trying to stay on top of their digital security, that sinking feeling when you think you've lost your phone and immediately you think, oh no, banking, email, everything, it's a very modern kind of panic, isn't it?
It really is. That moment where your digital life flashes before your eyes.
Exactly. But what if that vulnerability wasn't quite so absolute? What if losing the device didn't automatically mean losing access?
Well, that's where passkeys really come in. They offer a pretty elegant way to handle this. It's designed to give you more resilience.
So in this deep dive, we're going to get into the strategies, the actual steps you can take so that if a device does go missing, you can navigate it confidently and, crucially, stay connected. Welcome to the Deep Dive, brought to you by EasyDigitalSafety. Our mission today is really practical, figuring out passkeys when it comes to lost devices, recovery, and just making sure everything works smoothly across all your gadgets. The big question we're tackling is, well, how do you make sure you don't get locked out?
Yeah, it really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just remembering passwords to actually managing your identity securely across everything. We'll look at how passkeys change your recovery options, moving you from panic mode to having a solid plan. We want to give you the why behind the steps so you feel in control no matter what happens to a phone or a laptop.
Okay, let's start with some basics just to make sure we're all on the same page. These terms pop up a lot. First off, a trusted device. What does that actually mean with passkeys?
Right. A trusted device isn't just, any phone or computer you own. It's specifically a device where your unique private key for a passkey is stored securely. That key never leaves the device. When you log in, the device uses that private key to kind of prove it's you cryptographically without sending any password.
Okay. So the secret part stays local. That's key.
Exactly. That's what makes it so secure and resistant to phishing. It's like the physical key, but digital and much smarter.
Got it. So then what about a secondary authenticator? Is that just a backup password?
Oh, definitely not. It's much more robust. A secondary authenticator is your backup plan, specifically for getting back in if you lose access to your primary method. It could be another passkey on, say, your tablet or a physical security key, like a YubiKey, or even those recovery codes some services give you. Think of it like having a spare set of very secure keys. Services following the FIDO Alliance guidelines are actually encouraged to offer these clear backup options, like maybe sending a code to your email if your main passkey isn't available right then.
So redundancy using strong methods makes sense. And the last term, revoke or delete a passkey or device. What's happening there technically?
Good question. It's more than just taking it off a list. When you revoke a device, you're telling the service, hey, invalidate the specific cryptographic link this device had to my account. You're basically making its unique digital signature useless for logging in. So if you lose your phone or sell it, that old device just can't be used for your account anymore.
You're severing the connection.
Precisely. Like Snapchat lets you remove passkeys right in the settings. And Microsoft Entra ID has clear steps for admins to delete those FIDO2 passkeys if needed. It's about maintaining control.
Okay, these concepts really lay the groundwork. This brings us to some real-world situations, things people actually worry about.
Yeah, let's walk through some common scenarios. Like, what's the best way to handle things when you're upgrading your phone, getting that shiny new one?
Right. The advice here seems really clear from the sources. Patience is key. They strongly recommend keeping your old phone fully active, fully working. Until that new phone is completely set up and you've tested all your important accounts, don't just wipe the old one straight away.
Absolutely critical. People often jump the gun on this. You get excited about the new phone, wipe the old one, and then realize, oh, wait, my banking app needs the old device to authorize the new one, or something similar.
Been there.
It happens. Yeah. So only once you're 100% sure the new device has seamless access to everything critical, then you securely erase the old phone and revoke its access if necessary. It prevents those frustrating gaps.
Okay, what about a scarier one? Your computer gets stolen. That feels like a potential disaster.
Yeah, that's definitely high alert time. Immediate action is crucial. First thing, revoke that stolen device from your main accounts. Apple, Google, Microsoft, wherever it was linked. You usually do this through their account management websites or apps. This action specifically targets and deletes the passkey stored on that machine, making them useless to whoever have it.
Okay, so revoke first.
Yes. And then test logging into your critical accounts using your other trusted devices, your phone, maybe a tablet, just to confirm you still have full control and access. PayPal, for example, points out that even if your device is lost, you can often still log in with a password or a one-time code, but you should definitely go in and remove the passkey tied to that lost device as an extra step.
All right, confirm you're still in the driver's seat. What about families? Lots of people share a computer at home.
That's a really important point. For shared devices, it's absolutely vital that each person has their own user account on the computer.
Okay.
And each of those accounts needs its own separate screen lock. A pen-in, fingerprint, face scan, whatever works. This keeps things separate. So if one person loses their phone, it doesn't potentially compromise another family member's account's access via that shared computer. It contains the risk.
That makes sense. Compartmentalization. So
Yeah.
all these scenarios really hammer home the need to be proactive, right?
Exactly. Prevention is way better than scrambling during a crisis.
So let's turn this into a clear guide. What are the concrete steps people should take?
Okay, let's distill this. We've put together 7 key steps based on best practices, a sort of prevention guide. First, and this is non-negotiable, activate screen lock on all your devices, every single one, phone, tablet, computer.
Even if it feels like a hassle sometimes.
Even then, use biometrics fingerprint, face scan, or at least a strong PI. This isn't just like a good idea. It's the only physical barrier protecting the passkeys stored on that device if someone picks it up. Without that lock, the passkeys are just there. It's your first line of defense. And remember, as places like Snapchat and PayPal emphasize, your biometric data. It stays on your device. It's not shared with the service provider.
That's a relief. I think people worry about that. It's funny, you think, oh, it's just the screen lock until maybe you leave your phone in a cafe, and suddenly that lock feels incredibly important.
Exactly. Personal experience is a powerful teacher there. Okay, step 2. Actively enable and crucially confirm that passkey syncing and backup are working. This is vital for recovery. Use the built-in tools. iCloud Keychain for Apple folks, Google Password Manager on Android and Chrome, Microsoft Authenticator for Windows.
And third-party options, too.
Absolutely. Password managers like Dashlane or Bitwarden also handle passkey syncing really well across different platforms. The goal is ensuring your passkeys aren't just stuck on one device that could get lost or broken.
This next one feels particularly important for, the really critical stuff. Email, banking.
Yes. Step 3. Add a second strong authenticator to your most vital accounts. Think of it as essential insurance. This could mean setting up a passkey on another device you trust, like a tablet you keep at home. Or it could be using a physical security key. Or, very importantly, securely saving those recovery codes that services often give you during setup.
Don't just click past those recovery codes.
Please don't. Write them down. Store them safely offline. The FIDO Alliance guidance really stresses having these alternative ways in. It gives you options and peace of mind.
So know your escape routes, which leads to the next point.
Exactly. Step 4 is about knowing the landscape. Make sure you know where in the settings of each important service you can view and manage your passkeys and trusted devices. Where do you go to revoke one if you need to? We mentioned Snapchat's path, settings additional services passkeys. Microsoft has its own process in the Entra Admin Center. Knowing where to click before you're stressed is a huge advantage.
Okay, preparation. And step 5 circles back to upgrading devices.
It does, because it's such a common point of failure if done wrong. So, step 5 reinforces it. When you get a new device, set it up completely. Test all your critical accounts, make sure everything works smoothly. Only then do you securely wipe the old device and revoke its access. New first, test, then retire the old.
Got it. But what if the worst happens? Device lost or stolen despite your best efforts?
Right. Step 6 addresses that directly. If a device is lost or stolen, revoke it from your accounts immediately. Go to those account management pages you hopefully familiarize yourself with in step 4. As we heard from PayPal, you might still be able to log in other ways, but removing the passkey linked to the lost device is the critical security action. Microsoft also lets you do this quickly. Cut off its access.
Makes sense. And the final step for ongoing security.
Step 7 is about good digital hygiene. Get into the habit of a quarterly security review. Maybe set a calendar reminder. Go through your main accounts, look at the trusted device lists, and remove any old phones or computers you don't use anymore. Double-check that your recovery information, like backup email or phone number, is up to date. Keep things tidy.
Like cleaning out your digital closet. Okay, these steps are really practical. Now let's tackle some common myths that seem to cause confusion around passkeys. Myth number 1, I hear a lot. If I lose my phone, that's it. I'm locked out of everything.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest fear. And thankfully, it's a myth. It misunderstands how passkeys are designed. Fact. With proper syncing setup using iCloud Keychain, Google Password Manager, etc., and ideally a secondary device or recovery method configured, losing one device does not mean losing account access. Your passkeys are backed up securely in these systems. They aren't just tied to that one piece of plastic and glass. As PayPal confirms, you can usually still log in using other methods like a password or a one-time code while you sort things out.
Okay, that's reassuring. Myth number 2, my fingerprint or face scan is my backup.
Another common confusion. Fact. Biometrics, your fingerprint, your face, they only unlock the passkey that's stored locally on that specific device. They authorize its use in that moment. Your actual biometric data, as we said, never leaves the device. It's not sent to Google or Apple or Snapchat.
Right.
So account recovery, if you lose that device entirely, depends on the service's specific recovery processes and those secondary authenticators or recovery codes you hopefully set up earlier. Biometrics are for unlocking the device, not for cross-device recovery.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, final myth. Passkeys are so secure, I only need one backup method, right?
Well, while passkeys themselves are incredibly secure, the way different services implement recovery can vary quite a bit. Fact. It's definitely not safe to assume one backup method is universally sufficient. Best practice is always to follow the specific recommendations of each service you use. If they offer recovery codes, save them. If they support secondary devices, set one up. Maybe use a physical key for super important accounts. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. The FIDO Alliance guidelines even note that the service's security policy determines the right way to handle recovery, implying it's not one size fits all.
Okay, multiple layers are still key. That clears up a lot. Now let's take a few quick questions we often get from listeners that build on this. First one, passkeys sound great. Can I finally ditch my two-factor authentication, my 2FA?
That's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, we strongly advise against ditching 2FA completely just yet. Think of it as a complementary layer. While passkeys are generally stronger against phishing, keeping 2FA active, especially things like authenticator apps or even SMS codes for less critical accounts, provides another valuable backup route for recovery. In fact, some systems, like Microsoft's Entra ID, actually require you to use multi-factor authentication before you can even register a new passkey. So they're designed to work together.
Layering again. Okay, next question. What about those physical security keys, like YubiKeys? How do they fit into the passkey picture?
Physical keys are an excellent tool, particularly as a secondary authenticator. They fit right into the FIDO2 standard that passkeys are built on. They offer extremely high device-bound security. For users needing extra protection or for really sensitive accounts, think system admins or critical financial access, they are a fantastic, often recommended option. Microsoft fully supports them, for example. They're basically unphishable when used correctly.
Good for high security needs. Okay, last question, and it's a practical one for travelers. What happens if I'm trying to log in somewhere without an internet connection?
Good question to think about beforehand. There's a slight nuance. Using a passkey stored on your device to unlock that device or log into an app already on it, that's usually a local action. It often works offline.
Okay.
However, the first time you register a passkey with an online service, or when you're syncing passkeys, or using one device to log into another device, like using your phone to log into a website on your laptop, that typically does require an internet connection for the communication to happen.
Right. The initial setup or cross-device stuff needs connectivity.
Exactly. So if you know you'll be offline for a while, make sure your critical passkeys are set up and synced before you travel. Plan ahead a little.
Makes sense. Okay, this has been incredibly helpful. To pull it all together, let's run through a final checklist for our listeners.
Right. Your easy digital safety action checklist from today's deep dive. 1. Activate passkey syncing and backup everywhere you can. iCloud keychain, Google Password Manager, or your password manager like Bitwarden or Dashlane, make sure it's on.
2.
Add a second device or a different strong authentication method like recovery codes or a physical key for your most critical accounts. Email, banking, password manager itself, don't skip this.
3. If a service gives you recovery codes, treat them like gold. Store them securely, offline, maybe with important papers.
4. Take a few minutes now to figure out where you go in the settings of your key services to view and revoke trusted devices and passkeys. Know the path before you need it.
5. Maybe practice. Try revoking access for an old device or a less critical account just to get comfortable with how it works. Low stakes practice.
6. Remember the replacement rule. New device set up and tested first, then wipe or revoke the old one. No gaps.
And finally,
7. Do that quarterly security checkup, remove old devices, update recovery info, keep your digital house in order.
excellent. That's a really actionable list. And that wraps up this deep dive into passkey recovery, lost devices, and staying connected.
Coming up next on Easy Digital Safety's Passkeys series, we'll be digging into security and privacy in Episode 9. What actually stays local on your device? what gets shared, and why passkeys are so good at stopping phishing.
And then in episode 10, we've got your migration plan and pro tips helping you prioritize which accounts to switch first, how to handle that transition period, and even tips for traveling confidently with passkeys. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. We really hope this look at passkey recovery has made you feel more prepared and definitely more secure.
Thanks for listening to Easy Digital Safety. Please subscribe if you'd like more clear, practical security tips like these. And do check the show notes for links to step-by-step guides and the sources we discussed today.
Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.